Hello everyone, today we're going to show you how to adjust the brake on the Phantom 2.0. The tool you will need is a 5mm Allen key and a 3mm Allen key, both available in the toolkit included inside the box. This scooter features disc brake, which is a bit different than what we do usually with drum brake, but the adjustment is pretty straightforward and pretty much the same as drum brake. So this video is going to cover multiple things. If you're looking to just tighten your brake, you always start at the brake handle. Here you have some adjustment wheel that you're going to go and turn counterclockwise to basically pull on the cable to offer more resistance at the brake handle. Usually you do this if the brake handle reaches the handle grip a bit too close, or if you want a bit of a firmer feeling on it. If you do this and you notice that it's still not enough or the adjustment is at its limit, you're going to go at the caliper. At the caliper you have the same system, a little adjustment wheel here, and the principle is the same. You want to push it out to pull on the cable a bit more and get the brake pad closer to the disc. So to do this, you simply pull a little bit on the brake cable and turn this wheel here counterclockwise, and this will make this part stick out and will allow you to have a tighter feeling on the brake handle, like this. Then, if your brakes are rubbing and you can't stand them anymore and you want to align them, this is how you do it. You're going to need a 5mm Allen key. You're going to go at the back and locate those two screws right here. We're going to loosen them a little bit to make sure that the caliper is parallel to the disc and make sure that there is no rubbing at all. So if your brake sounds like this, you can hear the rubbing, then it means that the caliper is not parallel to the disc. So you have the disc in the middle and this is a caliper, and the caliper is like this, so every rotation it's going to go rub on the disc. We're going to loosen the caliper and make sure that everything sits parallel. So I'm just going to loosen those screws just a little bit, okay, like a quarter of a turn. Like this, just to be able to move from side to side the caliper, and you can see now I have some room on it to move it. And I'm going to try to keep the rear one a little bit tighter to keep the adjustment like this, but still being able to move the front one. And I'm going to spin the wheel and push the caliper just a little bit until I don't hear the sound. And I can look from the top to see where it's rubbing exactly. So like this, you see it's pretty good. It's not rubbing anymore, or just barely. And it's normal that it rubs a little bit, you know. As you're going to use a brake, the brake pads are going to wear down, creating a bigger gap, so don't overstress over just a little rubbing. So then I'm going to tighten it just a little bit and spin it at the same time, and you can see it came back. So this means I was not holding the caliper while tightening it. Every time you're going to turn this screw to tighten the caliper in place, it's shifting a little bit. So it's important that you keep the tension on the caliper at the sweet spot while tightening this. And then I spin it again, you know, just to make sure, tighten it a bit more. Spin it, it's still good. I'm going to do the same at the back, like this. You can see now I felt it moving. So I'm going to loosen it, find that spot, tighten it. And then I'm going to turn the Allen key to have more leverage and really tighten those screws. So you can see this one still rubbing just a little bit, and it's okay. It might mean that you also have too many pressure on one of these screws that we mentioned before. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this one clockwise to bring the brake cable back and to open the space. And you can see it's already better. So now you can see it's perfectly adjusted. It is normal that on the Phantom 2.0 the adjustment is really tight because we chose thicker discs. On the previous Phantom we had 1.7mm disc, and when we press on them it's very easy to bend. You can bend them with your finger. Those ones are rock solid. If I press on them, they're not even budging a millimeter. If after doing all of this your brakes are not rubbing but you still don't have the pressure that you want on them, well then you can try to come here and adjust it from the brake cable. The closer this arm is to the stopper here, the closer the gap between the disc and the brake pad will be. You see, this is how it works. You press on the brake handle, the cable pull on this arm, and it closes both brake pads on the disc. You see, like this, I can barely turn the wheel. So you could reduce this gap here. So you just loosen this, and you're gonna bring the arm a little bit higher on the brake cable while spinning the disc to make sure it doesn't rub. I can bring it a bit more, so it starts rubbing here. So this means that this is my sweet spot. I'm gonna tighten it back up like this, and now it doesn't rub or barely, and the distance, the travel of the arm is reduced. So this should offer a tighter braking power. Now, let's say you adjusted it on the brake handle, you adjusted it here, adjusted it this, and it still doesn't feel right. Well, maybe it's the time to change your brake pads. It depends how often you use a region brake, but you should change them every 300, 500 kilometers. Some people last 2,000 kilometers without replacing them because they never use the mechanical one. But let's say you replace the brake pads, you adjusted everything, and it still feels like trash. Well, the thing that you do is you remove those two screws here. And you're gonna take the caliper, put it up, and here you notice that there's an adjustment screw. On a mechanical disc brake system, there's only one brake pad moving when the lever is actuated. It's only the outside one that's gonna close against the disc, and then it's gonna apply the pressure. The rear one never moves. So you have an adjustment here that you can do with your 3mm Allen key, and you can turn it clockwise to push on a piston to bring that brake pad a bit further out. So then the distance between the disc and the brake pad will be reduced also at the back. This might be the problem that you're facing. Once this is adjusted, you can put it right back and try again. This is how you adjust the brake pads on the Phantom 2.0. Let us know down in the comment below if you have any further question, or reach out to customer service if you need any extra help. Thank you.